Multiple lawyers for failed Arizona gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake have already been hit with sanctions by the courts, and now an independent group has filed bar complaints against 4 of Kari Lake's lawyers for filing those ridiculously frivolous lawsuits to overturn the Arizona election results. The group is called the 65 Project, and according to the report from NBC News, the 65 Project said they're filing bar complaints in Minnesota and Maryland against attorneys Jesse Kilbore and Joseph Pull and Andrew Parker, who are licensed to practice law in Minnesota, and Kurt Olson, who is licensed in Maryland. They did not immediately respond to requests for comments. The 4 lawyers represented Lake and Mark Fincham, then a Republican candidate for Secretary of State in Arizona, in a lawsuit first filed in April, challenging the use of electronic voting machines. Lake and Fincham claimed the devices could not be trusted. The managing director for the 65 Project, the group that has filed these bar complaints against these 4 attorneys, had this to say, and this is powerful. This was a pre-planned, orchestrated effort to disrupt Arizona's election even before it began, and claimed that there was fraud. And that's right, because as I just read in that statement, the first lawsuit from these 2 nutters was in April. They filed a lawsuit before there was even the Republican primary. Like, that's how far in advance they were crafting these ridiculous arguments to go ahead and justify their losses that they may or may not have happened. If they didn't lose, they wouldn't have to continue the lawsuit, right? But because you filed it in April, that shows, in fact, that your talking points about a rigged election were planned in advance. And because of that, because this complaint to those respective bar associations mentioned this, I think it's a very strong complaint. I think it's an exceptionally smart move by the 65 Project here. Clearly, they've got some very intelligent people working there that know how to do this. And that always brings me hope. I love when there's these groups out there, especially ones that I hadn't heard of until now. The 65 Project, y'all seem to be very intelligent, doing things the right way in a smart manner. My utmost congratulations to you, and you have my respect. And I hope that you have a victory here, because again, these lawyers didn't have to do this. In fact, Kari Lake even mentioned back in December, she said, "We had attorneys who did walk away because the left is threatening them with their inability to make a living and practice law. And some of our attorneys said, look, I got mouths to feed. I can't do this case. I don't want to be sanctioned. I got to a point where I said, I'll take anybody. We'll take Better Call Saul to come in here." So Kari Lake already admitted, like, listen, I can't find lawyers. They don't want to get in trouble for filing knowingly fictitious lawsuits. So she did have plenty of lawyers, as she herself admits, that said, no, this is stupid. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put my career in jeopardy. So these 4 lawyers hit with these complaints from the 65 Project, they knew the risk the same as these other lawyers did. But they said, you know what? I guess I don't care. I'll take you on as a client. Maybe this will be good for my career. Maybe it'll help me out. Or maybe you end up sanctioned by the courts. Now your legal career is in jeopardy, because if the bar associations of these respective states, Minnesota and Maryland, where the complaints were filed, if they take this up, y'all are screwed. You're screwed because you already got sanctioned by the judge. If the sanctions hadn't yet happened, which basically is a legal ruling saying you knew this was stupid and you did it anyway, you might have a shot at getting out of it. But because you've already been disciplined for having such poor judgment as lawyers and for clogging up the court system, these complaints have a very strong chance of being successful. And that's what needs to happen. Not just because these lawyers need to be punished, but because any other lawyer in this country considering taking on an election denier as a client because you think it might boost your profile, yeah. Have a look around the country and you tell me if a single lawyer who's represented an election denier has gotten a happy ending. Because the answer to that question is an overwhelming, astounding no, they haven't. Hi everyone, this here is Little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.